Remy and Papoose Ma just completely appended the story of black love. Evidence. They were out there using social media to disparage one another. Remy accused Papoose of being a clout chaser and labeled him Dusty. Papoose retaliated by calling Remy a cunning and unfaithful person. That's not the universe's cue for you, baby. Run, sis. These two are on a downward trajectory. Clarissa Shields is an elite athlete. She is unmarried, has no children, and is currently amusing Papoose, who is still legally married with all this extra drama surrounding his wife Remy, and Remy accompanying him. She acts as though she is unfazed, but no, she's under pressure.
You're a piece of shit, Papoose. You really are. You have turned into a piece of shit. The gambling, the failures that you've had in your career or whatever that didn't pan out how you wanted to, has turned you into somebody else.
You're very cruel to people because you're a narcissist. She's the type of person who will say something to you, and 10 to 5 minutes later, she'll say, I didn't say that. Straight bipolar. Was diagnosed with it. You're not Cardi B, man. Let's keep it a buck. This is how phony you is.
I'm just saying that Clarissa needs to change her ways quickly because it was after the Breakfast Club that she was questioned about her relationship with Papoose, and I thought it was adorable. That's what ignited this whole ugly fire between Remy and Papoose. Yes, she and Remy had a feud on the internet last year, after Remy believed her team had published a dubious article and began disparaging her and Papoose online. However, Clarissa didn't say anything particularly noteworthy during that interview. Should she have discussed it more? Perhaps so. But her remarks did not call for Ree's abrasive reaction. Nevertheless, I believe that Clarissa might want to take note of some of what Remy stated.
Say it again.
You said earlier there's some things Pat need to handle? I don't know.
In his personal life.
Oh,
yeah, it's elephant in the
okay.
room. Like,
Yeah.
but that takes time. And like I said, that's not my place to speak on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have any ill will toward any women. And I don't have any ill will toward her.
Nobody shouldn't have any ill will towards me because I ain't do nothing to nobody. I look at it now and I feel sorry for old girl. Like, I feel sorry for her. I told Papoose. I told them, why don't you tell this stuff? Why don't you tell your current come up? That's what it is. Tell your current come up. Don't say nothing about me. You are a world champion. You are accomplished. You have made it from out the ghetto, from the slums, from the depths of Flint, Michigan. You don't got no kids. You have your whole life ahead of you. But why are you attaching yourself to this 47-year-old man that doesn't have anything going, has no career, no job, no income, except for the income that he's claiming off of your percentage because he's your manager? Got you out here talking, looking crazy. He's the one that don't want to sign, don't want to get his stuff out of his ex-house. Doesn't be there for his child that he begged for, but telling you he wants another one. Let me guess. He's telling you he want a son, right? He has a son. He has a son. He just doesn't like his son's preference, so he acts like he doesn't have a son. He has a son. We have a son. What are we talking about? I literally told my friends, they was like, yo, you think he ever gonna leave? I was like, when he finds a replacement, when he finds someone who we think he can have doing all the shit that I was doing, then he'll leave. Girl, man, don't nobody fall in love faster than somebody with nowhere to stay. I don't even know who he is today. Let me rephrase that. Because the person that I married in 2008, that's not who this is now. Now he's a wife.
However, Clarissa writes for her partner. She jumped up and asserted that Remy had lied about Papoose being her manager, 10 toes down, and verifying what Remy had said. She stated that she doesn't toy with her coins and that her true manager is Mark Taffet. Sis added that Papoose helped her secure some important goods and opened doors for her. Clarissa claims that he is stable and has ride and crib. Thus, from her perspective, everything is lovely. However, Remy asks if everything is so ideal, Why hasn't he hired a lawyer and proceeded with the divorce? I don't even know what to say, but I feel like Clarissa needs to leave the stage before she gets caught in the crossfire, because Remy and Papoose still have a lot of unresolved tension. And their most recent online feud is woe. He's been dragging his feet, apparently, but he just recently hit the paperwork after Remy publicly called him out. It was a lot, but let's not pretend to be completely new. This is hardly the first occasion that Remy and Papoose had trouble on social media. When it was rumored that Remy was having an affair with that battle rapper Eazy, the block captain, things really went south. Remy is the owner of a battle rap league, and Eazy signed under her. He was out in the streets telling people that he was having an affair with Papoose's wife. Papoose was mortified by that, not to mention that he restrained Remy when she was in prison for reportedly applauding her best friend over some money. She engaged in a 6-year marriage to Papoose while she was incarcerated, fought for her against the system, and even took a break from his tour to provide her with emotional support. "I invested everything in you," he is essentially saying today. People were shocked when she turned around and emerged with ease. But it turned out that there was more tea, since Papoose was also out there lurking while Remy was in jail.
Because guess what? I'm such a real one. I know the procedure when somebody goes to prison. I know the procedure. So it was never about infidelity. When I came home, and I went straight through that phone immediately. I know what was up. When I had to fight baby mothers at mother-in-law's houses on Thanksgiving, I knew that girl wasn't lying about what she was saying was going on while I was saying. I knew she wasn't lying. I just was mad. I knew she wasn't lying, though. If we keeping it a bean, I knew she wasn't.
Remy brought the receipts that demonstrated Papoose continued to communicate with one of his baby moms shortly after she returned home. Yet despite everything, Remy stayed and they worked things out.
She had a friend that she was away with. She had a certain individual who she was locked up with. I always heard this person's name. I ain't think nothing of it. We had like a little dinner in the basement or whatever at the crib. So this is the first time I seen homegirl outside of when they was in the penitentiary together. So I see her at the crib. Okay, she stayed for a couple days. She spent the night. She tells me, "I'm going to sleep in the guest room with such and such." I said, "Okay, that's cool." I sleep in the room by myself. Next day, same thing. I said, "Damn, babe, you sleeping in there again?" And at this time, I'm trying to be intimate with her. When it's time to go down, she slipped out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Oh, okay." After she do that, she go back to sleep in the room with homegirl this particular night. But you want to know why she started having so much animosity towards me? Because I ended up finding out the truth, y'all. And I'm not saying this because it's a bad thing, but I'm saying this because she has done a lot of bashing towards people who live that lifestyle and talk so bad about them and say so many foul things about them that it hurted her so bad that I knew the truth. So on another day, I caught her with this individual in our house while my daughter was on the bed with them. Ended up catching it. Now, this individual is a female, so I can't do nothing to her. I don't put my hands on females, but I told her to get out. Because I felt very disrespected that took place in my house while my daughter was right there on the bed.
Papoose then revealed his own little secret, saying that Remy had cheated on him with a different lady in their home while their daughter was present.
Well, that's another thing I don't like. Oh, she was held down while she was in jail. I was who I was when I went to prison. My royalty check still came in. I gave power of attorney so that they could write checks and go on my account and do this. I was buying Christmas gifts, not just for my son, for 3 other children that I was still getting to know. paying rent in a house that I pay rent in at least 3 different apartments that I never seen a day in my life. And you know what I came home to? I was paying rent from jail. When we was on them visits and nobody had no money, we was both on a visiting floor cold together. I did stupid shit like, hey, look at my new truck. It's a push gift. I bought that. So I did do some shit to put the sauce on it. But that's what you're supposed to do when you love somebody and you're in a relationship. You make them see like they're bigger than what they are. You understand? The people at Love and Hip Hop, one executive in particular who I heard was doing this behind the scenes. How you want to be talking crazy? Like, I ain't see me taking 15, 20, 25,000 off of my fee to put it on that, or to put it on his fee. Why would I want my kid father to be messed up? If I got the bag or I'm in position, I'm gonna make sure, like, that's what I do. But that's what
doing anything like that in front of your child is quite messy. That's crazy. Here's the kicker, though. Pap remained Remy said he had no real option, so why did he stay? He had nowhere else to go, according to Sis, who was paying all the bills.
First and foremost, I have a cash business. So there's numerous times where I cashed you out and you went and bought things. With my money. With my money. You want to talk about property? We bought this house together. We bought it together. I wrote one of your biggest records, man. One of your biggest hits. So you want to downplay me as an artist when I wrote one of your biggest hits. That's so sad. All of this money talk and all of this and what I don't got and what I got. Since I met her, I have written 90% of the rhymes that came out of her mouth. I never asked for a penny. I never asked for credit. She was my wife. I didn't want anything from her. I just wanted to see her win. Look at the comments. They know what I wrote. I wrote tons of her music. 90% of her music, I wrote it since I've been around her. The only reason why I'm mentioning that is because you fabricated. You fabricated and you talked about my children. And I saved her life one time in music too. She was in a crisis. Papoose pen to the rescue. Anyway, so I'm writing the music. She needed somebody to book shows. I'm doing the contracts, booking the shows, setting the shows up. I'm coming to the show, I'm collecting the first end, I'm collecting the back end. Word is bomb, I don't take one penny, y'all.
This man ain't right 90% of anything. Like, I wish he paid 90% of the, probably wouldn't be here, but
Papoose clapped back forcefully as Remy began discussing how she was paying for everything, claiming that he was the ghost responsible for 90% of her bars. Yes, he claimed to have pinned those songs, including hits like Conceited, but he never received credit for creating them. Therefore, he believed that his name ought to have shown on those royalty checks.
When he realized that a regular nigga that can rap, but just not the way we do it. By the way, he makes $50,000 per battle, has about 5-6 battles a year, so he makes at least $250,000 a year. You understand? Great credit score. I never seen a person with a credit score like this in my life. Like the richest people that I've been around. But anyway, unlike some people who beg me to add their name to one of my properties and I have to lean on it because they don't pay their taxes. You was devastated that a regular nigga that used to work for sanitation, got a pension plan, got a 401k, that happens to rap, was able to overcome your manipulation, was able to treat me nice. Not just because the camera's on, not just because people are watching, but because he genuinely felt like that. Not because I was paying his bills, not because I was taking care of his kids. And none of that. None of that. And then after I created my Battle League Chrome 23, I hope to make another Battle League that's popping. He signed himself to, he literally that day signed himself to Slitcherverse Records and dropped a single.
To be honest, I think he's real. I believe he wrote Shutter as well, and Nicki even alluded to it in No Frauds. But let's face it, Pap is still in love with Remy and isn't only upset about music. Additionally, he feels as though he has invested all of his time, money, and heart In her, he exudes the energy of a man who needs to be someone's hero. I believe Remy grew weary of playing that part because she wanted something else. He pursues the damaged ladies, the ones who have never felt protected or loved, and when he shows them care, they fold. They spoil him, finance him, and do everything for him, and it works for him. And now that she's here with Eazy, the block captain, Papoose claims that she's also subtly holding him down. But Remy quickly defended her guy, particularly when it came to his credit.
About his credit. But y'all know how it is with these. They could do mad shit to you all day, every day, year after year, decade after decade. But the second you do something to them, the second you say, I'm done, I'm finished, all hell breaks loose. The moment that he knew his job at TuneCore was solidified via that over there, play with me. That's why he was mad that I never posted it, because he doesn't get a check from TuneCore. He was getting a percentage of the subscriptions, and he wanted me to post to my 11 million followers to subscribe to TuneCore. And I told him, tell the TuneCore to post it on.
And to be honest, I think Remy is right. On this one, Papoose feels that Eazy has been a big thorn in his side, because he believes that man helped destroy their marriage and their reputation. They changed from being the epitome of black love to something quite else. But Remy replied, nah, she and Pap were already seeing other people. The trust had already been broken. Remy claimed he went out, but Papoose claimed she did.
Did too. You refuse to tell people, hey, me and Rem haven't even slept in the same bed since May 2022. You don't want to tell nobody that. You were so wrapped up in the whole black love thing. That was your thing. That was the only thing you had. Because the original plan was like, you know what? You do what you want to do. I do what I want to do. We said we was going to raise our daughter a certain way, you know, and we'll just, we going to figure out how to live in the same house and whatever. But then, motherfuckers felt like they could control what I do, but do whatever they want to do. What niggas tried to do when it came to my event and make us scene, if y'all really look back, this didn't come from me.
You such a liar. There was no agreement. When I found out you was with the lame, you denied it. You just basically said, yo, why would I be with him? Why do you think I would be with him? And then you wanted to go to therapy. So check it out now. Check it out. So when we go to therapy, me and her both said we want to work it out. I never wanted to leave from under the roof of my baby. That's why I stayed around for this nonsense. And the therapist told her, Remy, since you're saying that it's only business with this dude moving forward, but y'all have a last event coming up, after this event, you're going to cut all ties with this individual. Long story short, she kept cheating with the lane. Okay, move forward from that. Another event is coming up later on down the line. I found out the lane was there. I said, she gotta be kidding me, man. I done told you, and you bring them to the event. I've caught her cheating numerous times since she's been home. She's staying out on days my daughter got to go to school. My daughter's calling, she's not answering the phone. I'm calling, she's not answering when she's with this lame. Then she's with this lame for days at a time. It's like crackhead behavior. I'm like, yo, something is wrong. Are they using drugs or something? Like, what's going on with her?
Papoose did not cheat on his queen during the marriage. However, Papoose stated that he and Remy had an agreement to work on their marriage, which is why he was really upset when she moved on to Eazy. He believed that their relationship might have been saved. And honestly, I feel that Remy might have stayed if he had paid more of the bills. It's all smoke and mirrors, you know? They both put on a show for the public saying they were staying together for their daughter. And I believe that
through this entire ordeal of her cheating with this lame, I started to notice that he had something on her. And I felt like he was blackmailing her. I'm gonna play the recording right now. This is the lame.
You know what I mean? So far, she's saying she fuck with me. I believe her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with that. But you're right though. Anything can happen. So that shit will be 3 months, man. I don't know for how long it is. I got pictures, the texts, the videos of her. That shit's gonna blow whenever I say it's gonna go. I'm talking about what I'm saying, that news of cheating and all of that shit go anytime. It don't matter if it's a week or whatever. Like, the only reason why it's sparking is because you all this shit.
You just heard this lame, who she was dealing with since 2022, say in his own voice, I got videos and pictures of us. That's gonna go whenever I say so. One of the reasons why she's so angry at me is because she says, all of this is my fault. Y'all ready for this? Because I knocked him out. She said if I would have never knocked him out, she would have been stopped talking to him. She said the fact that I knocked him out, she had to keep talking to him because she didn't want him to expose things. But I want y'all to hear this. Listen to this.
She would have been over. He would have been over. You put me in a predicament, so I had to still kind of be cool with it to make sure you don't go all the way back and I'm not getting dragged on both sides by Team Papoose and Team.
That's your name, babe, bro.
I didn't give a fucking care.
That is not true.
Talking to this nigga.
I would have been stopped talking with this nigga. So she's mad at me because I knocked him out. So she's telling me that I knocked him out. I put her in a position where she still had to be cool with him. But she tell y'all on live, oh, he's this. Oh, yeah. A man that treat me right. A man that did this and did that. You just said the other day you don't even deal with this lame no more. I just played her saying that she would have been done with him if I would have knocked him out. Guess what, y'all? He's still going to deal with her because he's a bum. The league is hers. It's not his. She threatens him anytime he get mad. Oh, I'm taking take it down. You sleeping with this girl, take it up.
Papoose said that if Remy hadn't gone out with Eazy, he would have stayed. Eazy was even charged by Papoose with forcing Remy to remain with him. It's petty of Papoose to record such messages. But at least he was revealing the true Eazy. Eazy was attempting to control Remy out here. That's crazy. Additionally, Tasha K somewhat revealed that Eazy, the alleged block captain, was deeming another lady while observing Remy. It's old news because allegedly all of this occurred back in November. However, if it's accurate, it unmistakably portrays him as a cheater. Therefore, it is useless for Remy to pretend that Eazy is far superior to Papoose. They appear to be made of the same fabric to me. In fact, they even have similar appearances. It's challenging to distinguish them. Even though they're out and about and appear to be joyful, Remy and Eazy appear to be doing well. However, that is only the surface. What actually goes on behind closed doors is unknown to us. Remy is skilled at entertaining. In order to get under Papoose's skin, she did it with him. She might be doing the same with Eazy. Additionally, believe Papoose is exploiting his friendship with Clarissa to irritate Remy. These two are purely dramatic. I am constantly telling Clarissa's girls to run for their lives because of this. They have continued to draw one another forward. All day on social media, Remy clapped back after Papoose made fun of her man, claiming that Papoose had pawned her jewelry for money. Numerous charges were being made, but when the family became involved in the confusion, things became much messier. It's obvious that they both want to make the other look bad because the more they portray each other as the bad guy, the less they can take responsibility for their actions. They also want to play the victim so that people will feel sorry for them. But in reality, they both ruined this marriage. And they will continue to cast blame in order to avoid facing the truth.
I'm with my daughter all the time. I don't just pick her up once a month, if that, and then run to social media and post it to make it seem like I'm the parent of the year. I've seen my daughter more than 3 times this year. He has a son. He acts like he doesn't have a son. He has a son. We have a son who is very much alive and well and probably feels slighted sometimes.
It hurts me that I gotta even say this about you, that I gotta even come on this live and do this. But the fact that you tried to mention my children, the fact that you had the audacity to come on here and say, I haven't seen my daughter, when you didn't allow me to see my daughter. You had the audacity to send me a text and tell me not to come to my child's party. Why did you do that? Because I moved on and I wasn't sitting in the house watching my daughter while you run around with this lame, come home to me and say you wasn't with him. You sit here and you want to mention my son. Okay. First and foremost, I love all my kids the same. Anybody who knows me knows that. She tried to go out here and exploit my son. And somebody told me, she said, oh, if he keep talking, I'm going to go on live with his son or whatever. What? You are the one who have malicious things to say about other people's kids. And I don't even want to bring my stepson in it because I know his situation is very serious and I love him. And I love my son the same. I love both of them. But I love my stepson like he my real son because I raised him. Even right now, the situation that he's in, I went to visit him. You didn't even visit him. You waited till I visit him, then you went to visit him. But I love my son, I love my stepson, I love all my kids, I love my daughters, all the same. Like I said, as your kids get older, sometimes y'all have differences because as a parent, certain things you want for them, certain things they want for themselves. But that doesn't change the love. Love all my kids the same. You want to talk about, you want to pretend like you got any type of love for my son? You don't got no love for nobody in my family. You never showed no love for, you had animosity and hatred towards everybody, especially other women. You are a very unhappy individual.
She won't let me see my daughter. She won't let me see my daughter. I ain't never been the to keep a man away from his kid. Are you talking about the times when you wanted to take her over to your mother's house? And I told you, don't be having my daughter around. One of your adopted sisters, knowingly, y'all all know about it over there, touching on kids. And that's why she ain't never been over there. That's why she don't know them. And you agreed with it when we were together. Hence why my daughter ain't never really go over there like that. By the way, my stepson called me. Want me to put him on my live? I'll put him on my live and let him go. I'll let him go. Mr. Great Dad, Mr. Great Husband. I will add him to my live and let him go on you. He told me thank you. I felt bad after because I didn't even realize that. Like, oh, I could have just possibly put him in and said thank you. Thank you, Remy. You weirdo.
But you came on here and you mentioned my kids. Then you went back on there and tried to act like you exploited my son, like it's something I'm ashamed of. So when she called me the other day, tried to get back with me yesterday, and I declined because she was so mad about Clarissa, so angry because I finally moved.
She sees us living this way. And even though it's not amusing, I can't stop laughing. Papoose and Remy are really petty. They're untidy, yet they seem to still care for one another, so you had to run, Clarissa girl. However, Clarissa must cope with all of this turmoil, especially Remy, because we all know she is obstinate and wants to be with Papoose. Anyway, share your opinions about this sweltering mess below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon.